able to highlight in game number 1. But this is a complete reset for both of them, and we could start anew.
It really was. And especially in game 1 when we saw the counter index, it was literally 0.4, negative 0.4 and positive 0.4. Really not much of a difference.
So, CFU, if you can, just tighten up your formations and team findings and your man marking. Already heavily well into the draft. We're straight up in the first pick for CFU. I wouldn't mind if they just get the Kalea again, honestly. It worked out well for them, and they look comfortable with it. Oh! But this time they're going to be going for the Claude Rush instead.
I actually like this a lot, considering that Wactor was, again, trying to control the earlier stages of the game by actually looking to clear out a majority of these waves and still looking to harass. Obviously, can't do much specifically against Detective, but people like Sing, for an example, people like Boxy definitely felt that pressure.
Yeah. Wait, is CFU trying to bait Boostgate into picking up a Fanny?
Cause that's the thing.
Because Fanny's open, they first pick Claude.
Because if they really want to play Fanny, then it's just going to be Kalia Fanny here, right?
Fanny, so that's gonna limit them a bit. And there's still a Yisun Shin Fredrin if they wanted to consider those other junglers. But yeah, Kazuha is known for the assassins.
Let's see what this is going to be. It's going to be the Farsa again, alright. Rather bold to show Farsa. They also get rid of the Gatot, which I think at least from the POV of Wadu, he's like, give it to me again. Give me a Yuzong, give me a Arlet, give me a Lapu. I'll do it.
Yeah, or maybe they could potentially consider it in Red 3 once they see a bit more of what CFU wants to pick up.
Yeah. Now they have the Claude here. We'll see if you end up picking up a lineup that leans heavily towards the mid to the late game. Although now with Claudes, they are much more active faster. I think that's one of the best things about the DHS changes. Instead of just being lane locked to waiting for the Trinity, as long as you got the DHS, you can get out of the lane. You can start joining, do double lane, and then you can even join the turtle fights by turtle 2, turtle 3. So I think you mentioned some of the best EXP laners are used, Lapu, Arlot, all of them great options that they can pick up now.
Yeah, so they don't get banned out. Although the Uranus show will be the option instead for CFU. Not a lot of.
I have a sneaking suspicion. Oh, I don't know if that sneaking suspicion is going to be correct now that the instant carry lock-in is going to come in from the side of BGT. I'm thinking whether or not Detective is like, let's do a bit of a throwback instead of 2 seasons, one season ago.
So this is Detective Zero?
It could be. I don't know, because I don't see the way that it synergizes with the rest of the comp. Usually the big indicators would be like having a Farsa, having a Eve, somebody that has magic, has burst, or some form of peel, and you just slow them down and strip away their MR.
Oh, so this is like Boostgate having to think about whether or not they still want to target heroes for Wadu, because this might not actually be Wadu's hero, and if they don't consider that, then he'll just have access to more.
And then you have a shafted EXP, right? It's a rock and a hard place. That's what they want to set up. Is Lunox is the next ban coming in for BGT.
Oh.
If ever CFU want to lean toward the possibility of this Uranus going into the jungle, I'd want to see them pair it up with the Valentina, because they need that extra bit of control that she can dish out with the Terrifies. Yeah, you're not going to have a great time in the range department, but then you'll have a lot of control. Just put the concussive blast there onto the Cho, then that'll help balance you out in terms of you getting prio in the mid. I'd want to see them also take out the Kimmy here. Oh wait, no, they don't need to because there's already Farsa on the other side, so yeah, they're fine.
Oh, now there you go. Taking out the Fanny.
This is really good. If Tamago really like thought about this from beginning to the end, he's probably a genius, because I think he's figured out that there is a bit of a pattern with, hey, we show really tanky boy, you're gonna, and now that we've taken Claude, you have to go carry. There's just no other options, right? And then now they're forced to take Purify alongside with it because the Cho has already been locked in, and this could have been a Kalia. So the real question is, why was the Cho over the Kalia in the first place unless we are looking to flex?
Yeah, I mean, they saw they got the catch already. You'd want to be able to match the healing and the Purify. Maybe they are going to be flexing this Cho.
So many questions for CFU. Now they take out the Kimmy as well. So maybe now we might get to see a more unique or uncommon mid lane pick come into play for CFU.
Novaria,
because the Jushin, Eve, Farsa's
the classics are all gone.
Yeah, look at that pure target. Even with the Uranus on their side, they didn't need to ban out the YSS anymore, but they just decided, nope, Kazuha, you're gonna have to show something else, man. You're playing a completely different hero. And if he ends up going with something unique, play him all.
No, I think this is a mistake. I think this is not... As much as we've seen a decent overall performance from Leomords, I think right now the most useful that he could have gone for was probably the Fredrin in this case, right? So far, there's not a lot of big damage dealers other than this Claude so far. But then CFU, the mid laner pool has been limited down to things like Lilia, things like Novaria. It's either she's going to be completely outside of the fight, away from your range, or there's a potential punish that's waiting to happen. But we'll just wait and see.
Yeah. You mentioned it, the Lilia, the Novarias, those are the other options still available. They're...
Oh, what if they go Kadita?
Kadita. For the Farsa, I think, yeah, that works.
Not bad. I don't hate the plan.
There's a Kagura too, if they want it. Oh, there you go.
Really good call. Really good call. When you see Uranus, you're thinking magic, 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 whatever you can really double down on.
Yeah.
With Joy and Kadita, I'm liking CFU's composition, but it's all based on that momentum, right?
Yeah. And it's a Cho Kadita, so no one's safe if you're Boostgate Esports here, if they get to find the right targets. It's an EXP laner we're looking at.
Yeah, only the Filipinos are going to get the reference that I'm about to say, but see if you are about to take Boostgate to a Filipino vacation to Splash Island. Shout out to the Filipinos on the broadcast. I know you guys are there.
Yeah, you could search it if you're not Filipino.
Yeah.
XP lane options are still so open. Everything we mentioned are there. They just go for the safest one.
Like a Phobius? Yeah. Well, it makes sense. You see the Joy, you pick up the Phobius, you have the dashes activated through. I'm leaning a little bit more towards CFU for this one, but both of these lineups to me are like, if any one of us mess up in the first big fight, maybe around Turtle 1 or 2, then we're just gonna completely lose it. Yeah. And then we're gonna have to crawl back.
Personally, I think it's a lot easier for BGT to kind of snowball out of control. CFU, they need those kills specifically onto Detective, specifically onto Oppie, to make sure that they can just chain their ults to always get those kills.
Yeah. So, there you go, RX will be picking up the Purify. Identity does not, though. So I think it's gonna be quite tough for him to make sure that he doesn't get caught by either the Way of the Dragon, the knockups of the Jikundo, or the Breath of the Ocean.
Boostgate are on the brink of elimination while CFU holding on to match point. This could be their best shot, their best chance to end it here now and avoid a game number 3. Boostgate needs to protect their identity if they want to stand strong.
Very early on, we see that at least both junglers are going to be starting on the same side of the map as the side laners now taking early engagements, which is exactly what you want to see. Boxy already putting down low as Oppie hits level 2.
Oh, that's a fast clear. Rotation probably coming in for CFU Gaming, but if it's just fast rotations we're talking about, then that's a farsa that you're up against. So at this point in the game, Boostgate Esports can definitely be the more aggressive team, especially if they're constantly able to scout where Boxy and OP are like this, forcing them to recall even. So this is something they probably want to take advantage of, but wait.
I think this is exactly what they want, right? BGT understand that, hey, actually we have better wave clear because it's a 2v2 lane. Double, concussive blast on both of these supports as well. Not to mention that generally Gathod is going to clear slightly faster than Cho, who hasn't put himself in danger.
Yeah, because the way that CFU Gaming were able to fast clear that mid wave was a bit forced if you were to look at it.
I'm so surprised that Wacker was not able to connect with the taunt. That should have been a kill, luckily. I mean, or at least minimum a flicker. That's totally true as well.
And actually was able to get the EXP from the crab, and now CFU, Boxy has to watch out for his timing when he's going to use the dashes, because Xy's going to have a field day in the big team fights with the Joy and the Cho around.
And I think right now the poke is so important from Oppie. Oh wait, full commitment actually. Summoning Barbiel to get right on top of Oppie. Breath of the Ocean into Petrify as well. Doesn't connect just yet. But with Barbiel, the extra stats is useful. Wacker about to go down. Revitalize keeps him alive and puts Detective down to 1/4 of his HP. A statement said, expectations not met just yet.
Could have been so much better for Boostgate. I think they clearly wanted to get OP without this level 4 yet. Oh!
Feathered Airstrike already out as well as the rough waves. It's going to be a little bit of a dance as Identity tries and holds on to his last 2 shots. feathered airstrike. Wadu still existing, being frustrating as identity stuns him and moves away. It's going to be an early purify here from Wadu on top of the concentration, but still, Boostgate Esports takes the very first turtle.
Yeah, Detective just decides to trade and take some enemy jungle camps from that. Not too much of a significant lead just yet, but this is where I feel like Boostgate might want to be a bit more cautious. At least they have the advantage now, but then CFU Gaming, they're really being keen on looking and holding these bushes where they could pass through. So fortunately, the rotations have been working out for them so far. Oh, wow.
I like the aggression.
Yep.
I like he's not allowing Wactor to get into any good, comfortable position, and now the pressure is onto RX.
I think most people, especially for those casuals who are looking to get into professional MLBB, 80% of the game is really just posturing for better positions than your opponent. And I think that's something that most people need to get behind.
There you go.
Good position, good kick, but instantly canceled out the second half. Thank God for Wactor.
Yep.
Identity saved.
Fortunately,
I think that little snapshot is gives me an idea as to why Identity chose not to go for the Purify, because he knows that the clock can easily come in. He'd rather reposition.
Breath of the Ocean, straight away, full combination with the rough waves. Opie finds another kill, and this feathered airstrike is looking less and less impactful for the first 4 minutes of this game.
There's so much control between the Cho and the Kadita together. Identity gets away.
I'm surprised that Detective actually didn't want to go further to trade out against Identity, but I think he saw Kazaway just at the edge of his screen.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not worth the trade.
yeah, Boxy was there to scout him out too. They're holding the brushes really, really well. So whatever we mentioned about Boostgate and their rotations earlier on seems to hold true. Placing do it already used by Sing.
Yeah.
Alt for alt.
I think at this point I really don't want to see the carry Claude matchup anymore, because it's just very clear all the Claudes just win against that carry.
Yeah, there's just nothing you can really do about it, especially now that he gets the hybrid lifesteal. So it's like trading is even crazier.
Oh, okay. Boxy still has the flicker, by the way. So if he did want to go for a target, then he might actually be able to reach for whoever that is.
I think Boxy was called off, but now this next upcoming fight is about to occur. Concentration has already been gone through as Wadu is trying to peel them off behind a edge. Detective instantly takes out Lee's Identity, gets Wactor as well, making it look easy as the entire front line ditches their mid laners. And as you can see, CFU gonna do whatever they want as they chain CC, XC to the ground. Boxy ends up getting disrespected, and finally Detective getting a killing spree. 3 kills for him in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, but Boxy standing there in front of Boostgate Esports was so deceptive because it wasn't actually him who was planning to start things off. It was Detective who just went in straight for the kill onto Identity, and everything else followed after that. So Boostgate Esports, they have more than 1 or 2 problems to think about.
I appreciate Wactor for trying to protect Identity.
Yeah.
At the end, the CFU, just with their toolkit, a little bit more mobility, a little bit more annoying to catch out. It's the Kadita and the Joy. One taunt is going to be so difficult to land, so I really can't blame Wactor for not landing it.
Yep, that's why you got to deny space, and why Boostgate needed an early lead to be able to dictate the game. Because CFU Gaming, they're setting up tolls at every single intersection of this map, and Boostgate can't walk away without at least paying the price.
Yeah, so far it's only been Boxy that's been the sacrifice for CFU Gaming, and that's okay. That's all good. Oh, that's another. Yeah, I could feel the nerf, you know.
Those are the 2 overly aggressive guys at the club who are just like, what? Who's gonna flinch first? Unfortunately, there it was actually Wactor, and Boxy was just like, all right, cool story, bro.
I mean, both of them refuse to give up the space. Feathered airstrike getting called early on. I mean, yes, he'll come back up. Wait, hold on. They're going even further, forcing the rough waves early from OP. Okay, wait, hold on, because now 40 seconds till the next turtle actually spawns an XC. Force the flicker out as Detective wants to dive him. They could still dive him if they wanted to, running out of that passive, but Kazaway is nearby. Wadu forced the ult, and now Detective must commit an all-in. Doesn't connect on his last dash, though.
Boostgate Esports, it seems like they really are trying to target OP down, but that highlight or that exchange we saw in the bottom lane really was something. Okay.
Yeah, lots of deterrence being thrown at that Kadita. The moment you see it feathered airstrike, I don't care. They just want to take out the ultimate as soon as possible.
Yeah, and the wings by wings towards The Karita after. Oh, speaking of the Karita.
One shot! Alright, item list. We need to see the item list. What's going on here?
Bro, that's busted.
That was so much more damage than I thought it was going to be.
It's Genius Wand Rush, and then he also had Rupture with him.
Oh my goodness. And now we get into the next fight is Wildcard. Again, he's already revealed all 4 members. And Steed already coming out. Another airstrike as well. As Zing gets right on top of Identity, forces the flicker away into 3 as Kazuya gets kicked right into the middle of the fight. RX takes out Boxy at the very least, and that's gonna be it. Kazuya does he manage to survive? RX takes out Zing as well, and mega kill for Detective Wetker, the final man to fall down as Wadu picks up the skull. 2 for 2 trade.
That shouldn't have been a 2 for 2, but RX stood strong in that bush and got Boxy and Sing.
Yeah, you know what they say about the carry and the claw when it's just a basic attack matchup that we're seeing, and without the blazing duet, RX definitely could have dealt with him. Oh, but hold on, here in the top lane.
The dive, and he's gone. Electrifying beats just to show who's the boss.
I feel so bad for Identity this series. CFU Gaming have not been letting him play.
Yeah, we did kind of float around the idea of why he chose the Flicker over the Purify. But if they're not able to play as aggressively or anticipate what CFU Gaming is planning to do, then it's gonna be all the more difficult that he finds the purpose in this Flicker choice. Oh, another Flicker.
Really good way of the dragon into the flicker, into the rough waves, petrify, follow up, perfect chain CC as Identity is able to take one and back in Detective, getting it shut down for himself as XC flickers the wrong direction. No, out of range, unable to pick up the most important kill.
Or did the Dark Wave actually land, but there was just not enough damage?
Yeah, again, they flickered in different directions here. Blazing Duet!
It's good enough, 50% of their HP in a mid-turret down.
Identity and RX couldn't do anything, not even with the amount of range that they had, as they stood under that tier 1 turret in an attempt to defend it from CFU Gaming. This is a 3k gold lead that we're just talking about. But even without all this, like the burst damage that you could already expect, OP and Detective, the magic damage, and that's without Sing going with the Blazing Duet.
Yeah, speaking about burst, Identity just built up his first main damage item. He had to go for Blood Wings first and just built up the Lightning Truncheon. So maybe now we're going to start to feel even more damage from this Farsa, not just on the squishier members of CFU Gaming. But the problem is he cannot get into position. Detective has been stellar with his entry timings.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at the items so far. I mean, double Genius Wands, right? One from OP, one from Detective. Even the MR doesn't feel that great. As Wadu, once again, he's back on the peel. He doesn't mind going toe-to-toe against XC here, especially when Sing is right behind him. Look at that. XC getting put down at 10% of his HP as the Feathered Airstrike is forced out just to save his life. This is going to be a no contest very soon, but look at the position of OP. No, it's about to happen. And now RX trying to live. Electrifying beats was more than enough. And Kadena is out of there. OP, oh my god, he tried to outplay it, but the animation was too long.
Yeah, the passive was there to make sure that OP went down before he could have even casted the rough waves. So now Identity actually picks up the kill, but that's the Lord in the hands of CFU Gaming.
Brother OP, you did not need to enter anymore.
He was...
Detective did the job. He was aight, bro. Okay, fight for the purple buff. Kazuya gets his own.
Oh, they should be able to walk out of here, but now the Feathered Airstrike is being committed as well. The Purify nicely used by Wadu, and he survives the damage despite the empowered autos as he chases them back. Oh no, the mouse turns into the cat. Predator now turned into prey as they hold their ground into the mid lane. Notice that the orange buff is being stolen away as well as getting shoved from the top side. The continuous back and forth. Nobody will give up the territory.
Who was that zigzag walk from Wadu that we saw earlier? He was walking side to side and...
Hey, Uranus doesn't walk, he floats.
Oh, he floated zigzag.
Yes, attempting his best rendition of Thriller.
Kazui couldn't even catch him, not even with Barbiel.
Yeah, they really need to give him a little more, like, movement speed when he's on Barbiel. I'm going to be perfectly honest here. It does feel kind of slow sometimes without the Hunter Strike, but now that he's got the BRB as well as the Hunter Strike, things should even up, especially if they're low.
Oh no, that's a Wind of Nature pickup for Sing as well.
I take it back.
So, he might be a bit more confident going in.
Now.
I get it, because the Leomord, but I wish he packed Winter Crown instead.
And even so, Boxy is still trying to look for angles. Really good defense coming in from Boostgate Esports. They're really taking advantage of their wave clear due to identity, and even Whacker making sure that the space is going to be uncontested.
Yeah, my guess is because RX, like we saw the mini 1v1s that he's been having with RX, and when it's you're against the carry when it comes to the basic attacks, it's just so hard to win against that. So maybe he's banking on that idea if it ever comes down to that, but does that...
Ouch, ouch.
Ooh, what?
He's gone. Goes forward with BMI right into the blazing duet and in straight to the electrifying beats. Every ult under the sun, 4 members dead. Didn't even need to do much of my job to make that one happen.
Yeah.
That's the CFU. What a decisive fight.
Boxy making sure that Detective was able to walk out safely too by tanking the turret shots. It might just be it.
There it is. Right at the very end. Unbelievable. CFU, for what looked to be a stalemate, turned it to an overwhelming victory.
CFU survives. And unfortunately, Boostgate from the wildcard will now have to say goodbye. The Sharks dormant no more. In a plot twist that even Agatha Christie herself couldn't write, it was Detective who did it. It was him all along.
Detective who we thought would be on the Uranus, but no.
Oh.
It was Wadu using it.
I'm so glad he didn't have to go back to like, I have to use Raiders in the jungle. This time, really, really well thought draft from CFU, from every single aspect. And of course, Boxy just showing his veterancy in the angles and opportunities he creates for CFU.
And weren't we looking for M6 CFU to come back? Because this did feel very much like it. I'm not just talking about the Joy, because the Joy definitely was a pick during the M6, but the way and the manner that they just executed this game, even though there were some small plays which were a bit questionable, but it looked rather funny because they were way too ahead to make such crucial mistakes, like the one that OP did.
That's definitely one of those moments where it's just like, come on, Detective.
Couldn't you have told me a little bit sooner? I want. It's. Oh, why is it the first highlight? Oh no!
Right
there.
Dude, if he just wanted the participation award, it's just like I couldn't read it.
I feel like for Opie, those like, man, I don't care. We won. We're still in M7, man. You can clown me all you want, but I'm still here. And he definitely did show up there in the end, eventually getting the double kill, ending it with 5-1-5. I like the Karita. Once it showed up, I was like, yeah, this is probably the doom for Boostgate, because it was clear. It seems like CFU already knew just how important identity was to every moment that Boostgate likes to play the game. They said, let's just pick all the picks that will mess up this Forza.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking whether or not, like, after seeing the arenas, maybe lean into, like, yeah, sure, you're giving away the Farsa, but, like, take a Purify, take a Lilia, call it a day, you know?
Fortunately, we'll have to say goodbye to Boostgate. But now, we're going to pass on you on over to the stage for an interview.
Interview. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for CFU Gaming! A team that has made it out of the elimination match today. And with me here on stage, we have OP and Detective. Hello once again, boys. Let's start with OP first. OP, how do you feel after finally winning a match after losing 2 of your first matches in the Swiss stage?
ខ្ញុំមានអារម្មណ៍ថាវាធម្មតានិយាយមែនបងធម្មតាពួកអីចាំឈ្នះទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងបានរៀងសប្បាយចិត្ត He said that I feel normal because like we just winning or if we continue winning and get to the playoff, yeah, we'll be more happy.
I agree, but you know, step by step, small steps is all it takes. OP, you say you feel normal after winning the match, but how did you feel coming to the match today? Did you feel excited? Did you come with full spirits?
ខ្ញុំមានអារម្មណ៍ថាឈ្នះនៅថ្ងៃហ្នឹងគឺជាបានន័យថាវាគឺជា power មួយសម្រាប់ team ឲ្យយើងមានកម្លាំងប្រកួតនៅម៉ាច់ក្រោយ
For the win today, I have we have more powerful like momentum and continue for the next round.
Yeah, I did see the shift in momentum coming from CFU Gaming, especially just now since we interviewed Z. He said that you guys had a heart-to-heart talk prior to this match. And of course, Detective, we've seen that you have been trying to somewhat adapt to the current meta. What are your thoughts about this?
I'm not really adapting because I can play any meta.
Oh, you don't have to adapt because you can play any meta. Now, if you don't mind, I just want to ask a little bit because just last month we were together in Kuala Lumpur, right? And in that tournament, you guys placed top 2. And coming into this tournament, you guys were a little bit shaky. And based on my interview just now with Poji, he said that it could be due to the reason that you guys perhaps felt a little bit more pressured coming into this tournament, or what is it really?
I think that not really because it has been a long time since the last tournament. It's just that teams in M7 is a lot stronger.
People have been definitely stepping up.
Yes.
You know what, Detective? OP, you guys have survived an elimination match. How about give a thing or two to our Cambodian fans watching at home?
ទៅកាន់អ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាដំបូងឡើយសូមទោសដែលមួយថ្ងៃមុនធ្វើឲ្យបានល្អតែក៏ថ្ងៃនេះគឺភាសាឡើងហើយខ្ញុំសង្ឃឹមថាស្អែកទៅវានឹងល្អជាងនេះទៀតតែខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណទៅដល់អ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាដែលនៅតែមានទំនុកចិត្តលើពួកខ្ញុំសង្ឃឹមថាពួកខ្ញុំនឹងមិនធ្វើឲ្យអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាខកចិត្តឡើយ
Okay, so we are sorry for the previous match that we did not do very well, and we hope that you are for the fan back home you're forgiving us, and we hope to do better in the next round.
Thank you very much to CFU. Once again, congratulations to Detective and OP. And without further ado, let us show it back to the panel to break down what happened in this clean sweep series.
Well, according to Detective, it's not a matter of evolution and adaptation. They are very ready to do just that. Of course, another prolific win here for CFU Gaming. Still retaining their slot in M7. Great effort once again for Boostgate, and a show of love from the Indonesian crowd here, of course, for CFU.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fans being converted here within Indonesia, because again, with a game like that and with a spectacular ending, every ult was able to get a kill. That just feels so good.
Yeah, and I'm loving the confidence from CFU so far, because you would have thought that they'd feel a bit more, I don't know, low spirits after what they've been through in the Swiss stage. But hearing from Detective how it doesn't matter what the meta is because he could play any meta, it seems like they're still there.
This Joy was a menace.
It did. Oh, dude, let me tell you about Joy getting with the changes to Genius Wand in particular. It feels so good when you get that first kill. It snowballs so quickly out of control. He got a Holy Crystal like nearing to like 6 to 7 minutes. That's how quick he was getting these items.
Yeah, and that highlight play he did towards the end where he just went in, you would have thought it's too deep in, but he had the Winter Crown.
Yeah.
And that's where everyone just helped him get out of the turret. Boxy standing, taking third shots, and then he just walked out of it safely after getting, what, 2 or 3 kills off of Boostgate Esports. So this Joy had damage that Boostgate could not handle at all. That's not even including the Karita that, you know, missed.
Yeah, it went by way too fast. I like how CFU just leaned in on the idea of like, let's end this quick. They were confident. They knew that they could just jump on Boostgate. You had 3 major damage dealers in terms of magic. Yes, I got the Uranus there. So, Brigida, is there something that you'd like to share with us?
I'm trying to look at... Oh, this was that one play we saw earlier where it was just as if that Boxy was looking for a target, but he actually was not. He was just probably getting the information necessary for Detective and OP to go in at the perfect and the exact same time. And that's where CFU Gaming clearly started to snowballing and getting the advantage again and again. And in this particular moment, I feel like we started to feel how Identity couldn't really activate himself, because there was just too much reach from CFU again, and this is saying joining in early on. That was a mini 1v1 that we would call it that they had earlier, but it still converted into a kill for RX, so it doesn't matter either way. And it's just constant reassurance, I guess, that you get from your teammates that Boxy,
Hey, you're doing great.
all of those, right, that's right. I wish I could hear them say that. It's all these, I called them overextensions earlier when they weren't able to really pull it off, but now it doesn't seem to be that way. It seems like every single play that Boxy does is actually rewarded. And this is the CFU that we've all been waiting for. I couldn't press because like it is what is it, as LaFell would say.
Yep,
But
it is what is it.
it is what is it. But it is what is it for Boostgate Esports and CFU. I'm excited to see how they're going to carry this momentum from this point onwards.
I think again, very fair points all across the board. I think the biggest thing for me looking at a game like that, considering how much BGT actually had a pretty decent chance in the early games, and we're responding accordingly to the mid-trio pressure, it's just that at the end of it, right, you're hoping for too much. Oh, I'm taking flicker so that Wactor is able to protect me.
Yeah.
Your composition is compromised. There's no going around that.
Yeah. And that's why I said heading into the game, Boostgate needed to protect their identity. That was a double meaning, but really, you can take it as literal as possible. Just protect the Farsa, please.
Yeah.
But they couldn't. It's with what they drafted into, or more specifically, let's look at how CFU drafted it. They just overloaded all of the options that I almost said Ticket Truck. Boostgate had to look at and go, how do we stop this? Who do we peel?
No, because Exy, I don't think you could give him the job of protecting, so definitely that's out. Wactor, you can, but the unbreakable nerf again. I think we felt it in this game because the main, or one of the main jobs that he had to do was protect. So whenever there were surprise dives, or let's say flickers coming in from either Boxy or even OP, there wasn't enough reaction time, I feel, that you could charge the distance of the unbreakable far enough so you could actually catch these targets or at least deny them. There were moments where we did see it, but that was just like one or two out of the many engages that CFU went for.
I mean, if we're looking about participation, right, team fight participations, we can see that, again, most of these fights are actually above the 50%, with the only exception being Exy, because Wadu just completely shut him down. He didn't let him leave the lane. He didn't let him leave the lane without punishment.
Yep.
He made him lose a significant amount of minions, especially during neutral objective fights, and worst yet, he was basically unkillable in the lane, so Exy just could not do much.
Yeah. Great shutdown of Boostgate by CFU. Across the board, it seems like